What's up, tubers? T.O. here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight. You know, I got a request from one of our users that said, hey, T.O., break down some Texas lakes. You know, I've been out in Oklahoma and Virginia and North Carolina, everywhere doing all these lake breakdowns. And he said I haven't done one in Texas for a while, so I wanted to come back, although I did Palo Pinto just very recently. But I'm coming back with another one. This time, tonight, we're going to jump into a brand new lake, not even open to the public yet. It's called Lake Bois D Arc, or Bois D Arc Lake. Let's go break it down. As we always do, we always go out to the Texas Park and Wildlife page for any of the Texas lakes that we break down and just really look at it for any type of information we can find with the lake, what types of fish they're going to put in there, their stocking, what kind of fish they have in there, all of that good stuff. Now, the interesting thing about this lake, Bois D Arc Lake, is that it's brand new. It's still being developed. In fact, it doesn't even open, I think, until like January of 2024. So it's coming along pretty well. Obviously, this little drought that we're in is not going to help us, but hopefully we'll get some rain this fall and this thing will be ready to go. So a very unique opportunity for us here in North Texas to go fish a brand new lake, and this thing should be phenomenal here in just a couple of years once all of this stocking and stuff really starts to build up. So let's look at the characteristics on this lake first. So location is on Bois D Arc Creek in Fannin County. Its surface area is 16,641 acres, so not that big. It's just kind of a medium-sized lake, I guess you could say, for around here. Maximum depth is 70 feet, which I thought was pretty interesting. You know, I was thinking it was going to be just like the lakes here in North Texas, probably a maximum depth of about 40 feet or so. So 70 feet is very interesting, especially when you look at the imagery that we're getting ready to look at. I just don't see where 70 feet's coming from, but pretty cool stuff. I didn't realize it was going to be that deep. It was impounded in 2021. However, it is not open yet. So again, I believe it's going to open this winter. So you'll definitely be seeing me do some videos out there on this lake, because I always love checking out new stuff, and this one's not too far from home. As far as a conservation pool, it's 534. If we look at the current lake level, you'll see that it's still gaining. It's been leveled out here for the last couple weeks, but it has been gaining over time. Normal water clarity is stained. That's going to be hard to know until it officially gets in, but I'm sure it's going to be that brownish color that we have around here. And then if we go down to aquatic vegetation, it says American pondweed and coontail colonies in shallow areas. Again, these are things that we're going to have to look up and really see, you know, as the lake progresses. The reservoir is currently managed with a 16-inch maximum length limit for largemouth bass, which we already knew about. We have that here. You can see they're going to have largemouth white bass, channel catfish, crappie, and sunfish. Now, there were ponds on this area where they created this lake, and supposedly there were some really big trophy fish that were in these ponds, and now these ponds have just been flooded out into the lake. So between that and between what Texas Park and Wildlife's been doing on putting the share lunkers in there and things like that, or not putting the share lunkers, putting their offspring in there, I think this is going to be an excellent lake to fish. You can see here on their website, it's kind of funny, but they have everything marked as excellent, I guess because it's a new lake. And then, you know, from there, we're just going to have to go and look and start fishing this thing and see how it goes. Hopefully we can set some new records on this lake and stuff like that. You can see here there's not any records yet, so should be interesting. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about too was they do have habitat structures in here, which we're going to talk about. If I click this viewer, it doesn't really do us any good. It used to bring us to a different page, but it's different now. But I did take any of the habitats that they had put in this lake. I got the GPS downloaded coordinates, and then I went ahead and added those into Google Earth so we can have everything there. So let's switch over and let's look at this thing from Google Earth, and let's see what kind of a lake we're building here. Here we are out on Google Earth, and what I want to do is really just kind of show you how I'm building out this whole breakdown. Now, this one's definitely a unique opportunity for us, like I said, because this lake is brand new. It was impounded in 2021, and it's not even open yet to the public to fish. So when you go back and you look at the imagery, you're actually looking at the land and what they use to, to make this lake. So let's go ahead and let's zoom in here. I'm on 2017 right now, and I just want to show you this because it'll all make sense once I start putting all these lines together. But you can see here that this literally was just a big field with a creek that ran through it, or a river that ran through it. And this is the whole creek bed right here that runs directly through. Now what I did was I took this little purple line and I tried to draw a line of where I thought that the lake was going to basically end up at. And the way that I did that was I just went out here to 2021 and I came up and I kind of looked around. Some of these you can see I expanded them, like back here. I'm anticipating the water is going to go up into this creek back here. And when it does, hopefully this is gonna be the boat ramp, because it says there's a boat ramp here. So obviously we got a ways to go before that gets back there, but look at this nice creek channel that's back here. Man, all kinds of good stuff. And we're gonna see a lot of that. We got road beds over here as well. So we're gonna see some good stuff. So here is the lake now. That's as of 2021, 10 of 2021, which I don't know if that's accurate. That's probably more like today. I haven't even actually been up here to look at this lake, but just been kind of, paying attention to it through the news and stuff like that. All right, so there's our bank line. Next, what we're gonna do is I wanna show you over here on the left-hand side. So I've got the bank line right here, which I'll probably, I can leave that there if you guys want it, but eventually we won't need it. We've also got the Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractors. Now, obviously they put a ton in here. This is a brand new lake, so super, super cool that they put all these in here, but you can see that we've got fish attractors in lots of different areas, and we'll talk about these. Now, when I talk to you guys about, the water level and where the water was gonna go to, they do have a fish attractor, they say, over here, which I find interesting, because if that's true, that water is gonna push up further up here than I anticipated with my line. So we'll just have to see how that goes. There's also another one back over here where it shows right here some type of a fish attractor being right there, which that seems interesting, because if that's true, then all of this is going to be pushed up, and then now you've got some brush piles that are right here, which maybe that's what that's supposed to be, is those two brush piles. I don't know, because I can't tell with where the lake is going to go, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this, and as the images get bigger or better and newer, I'll start really coming out here and just checking this thing and making sure that we're good. But this is what we have so far. So there's your Texas Park and Wildlife fish attractors that are going to be out there. You have several different ponds that are out here. Now again, if those ponds come in play that we were looking at earlier, then I'll definitely be drawing those up, because those are some pretty significant ponds that are out there, and those could be those ponds I was telling you about, like right here, where you have some really good fish that are in there, and hopefully it does flood up to there and cover up that pond, but we'll see. Right now it looks like we're gonna hit most of these areas, but all of these little circles that you see right here and right here and right here, these are old farm ponds that were there before it flooded. And so if I draw that back to 2017, you'll see here, these are the ponds, and you can see where I marked them. So we've actually got a little river channel there, got ponds there. This was an interesting kind of just little, I guess, I'm trying to say like a valley where, it all washed out. Now we've also got lots of different cover too. So when I talk about cover, this is just the different type of cover that I could find so far. Now obviously it's hard because it's not a new lake yet, but if we look around, there is some pretty significant stuff that we have here. One, we've got a road. So I've got this road completely marked. So once that floods out, we'll have that road bed. And then if you zoom in here, you'll notice you got a little culvert that's right there that I marked for you guys. And then we've also got a bridge that's over here. And then if we go further up north, if we get up in here, you'll see there's a little bit more stuff that's up and around in here. So you've got a little hump that's over here, right where this little house used to be is now a hump. So let me move that up a little bit, and I'll show you. You can see now it's a hump with a little pond out there, which I guess I should have just left the ponds on so you could see it. There's the pond. There's where the house foundation used to be. You've also got some more debris that's out here. If we zoom in, you can kind of see it a little bit. I think we might have to get a different image to see that one. There we go. There's the debris that's left from whatever was there. Here's your ponds There's another pond dam that's up there too. That one looks really good. So all of this stuff is really cool when you look at it from where it used to be to where it is now. Now, as we move up here, you're going to see where I have a lot of debris that's over here and stuff like that. You've also got some piles. It looks like they pushed up right in there. Well, if I move that up to 2021, you can now see where they've made these piles. You got really good debris piles right here. You got a good brush pile that's right here. Another good brush pile. Big old brush pile and debris is all in there. So lots of good stuff that we're going to be able to check out as this thing continues to progress. We've also got a lot of stuff up here too, lay down, brush, debris, all kinds of good stuff. You've got this over here, but I didn't see anything here. This just looks like a bunch of mud and rock and stuff like, or maybe not even rock, but mud and junk like that. There may be a little rock right there, but I didn't mark it because I wasn't really sure what that was. But you can see I've marked quite a bit of stuff here. So I've got all this ready. We've even got this little yellow line. Let's see what that is. And if we look at that, that is actually going to be like a little a barrier on the dam. Let's see if I can get it set up right so you can see it correctly. Well, I can't really get it perfect, but you can kind of see it right here. You can see there's a little ridge right here. And fishing around this ridge is going to be really good once it floods out and becomes a real lake. It's going to be super exciting. Here's your little spillway back here. That may be a boat ramp that they're making, maybe. Kind of looks like it. It's a long one. It's hard to tell. But anyways, we've got a lot of good stuff that's coming up. And I'll continue to monitor this. We'll probably have another video too as we talk about this, but super exciting. Now let's keep going. Let's just finish this thing off. We got all the Texas Park and Wildlife stuff, right? We already talked about that. We talked about all the ponds that are going to be out there. We talked about the different types of cover that we marked. And then now we have channels and ditches, and we have the ability in this one to mark these channels and ditches before they were ever even flooded out to be a lake. So you can see here all these green lines that you see, those are the creek channels that we were able to mark because basically the lake wasn't there yet. So I draw it back to 2017. You can see right here I stayed right on these creek channels, and that should be huge once that thing goes to be in a full lake. Knowing exactly where those creek channels are and being able to hug up on the big turns and stuff like that, that is going to be key to catching some big ones out there. And then last but not least, you also have a couple ramps. I think there's about 4 or 5 ramps. There's a couple right here, so we got a few here. And then I believe this is going to be a ramp too, but I couldn't mark it yet because I can't verify exactly if that's what that is. But once it gets a little bit deeper, we should be able to add a few more things to it. But guys, that is it for Lake Bois D Arc. I think this one's going to be exciting. Super, super cool that they're building this lake up here in North Texas. And from what I hear, they're building another one as well that's going to be pretty close to this one. I don't know where it's going to be, but somewhere very close to this one. So as soon as they build that one and get that one started, I'll be breaking that one down for you guys as well and give you guys an update. That's it for today. Hope you catch your PB. Till next time, take it easy.